Madness Radio.
A group with some of the biggest records of the 80s signed to one of the biggest hit-making factories of the same decade, Solar Records. A perfect marriage, it would seem. Well, maybe not. We're going to get into that here on the first iteration of Storytime with the Madness Radio, where we get into the stories behind the music. Howard Hewitt, Jody Watley, and Jeffrey Daniel. Three names that would make the legendary group Shalamar. From Hewitt's unmistakable voice, along with Watley's, Jeffrey Daniels' choreography, these three put together a run that was geared up to be the most impressive of the decade. They had the look, the aura, and the sound. And for most groups, a few platinum plaques might be the ceiling. But it seemed to be this group was geared up for so much more. The only thing that could drive them apart was the thing that most emerging acts and stars run into. We're talking about ego, money, and control. To understand what broke up this extremely promising trio, we have to go back to the inception of Solar Records, also known as the Sound of Los Angeles. Dick Griffey, who began his stint in the music industry on the legendary, incomparable Soul Train, starting out as a talent coordinator, and brought this skill to Solar Records and used it to put together a trio that would, along with legendary producer Leon Silvers III, put together a string of massive hits, such as The Second Time Around, Dancing in the Sheets, A Night to Remember, and many more. The group pumped out several albums, and it was looking like they were geared up to have an impressive run. But sadly, with any bottled up explosive talent, it never reached the peak that many expected to come, because in 1983, Jody Watley and Jeffrey Daniel left the group. Citing creative stifling and differences between the group and the label, along with financial disputes that were not the only that would exist within Solar Records' tenure. Jody Watley felt that she was much more capable than what they were doing in the group, and a lot of her creative input was stifled by the label. She lost interest and went out on her own. The group would continue with Howard Hewitt at its helm. Some would say that the group was actually better off without the two original members, but some others would say that the magic had left. Eventually, Howard Hewitt would get out of his contract with Solar Records with more financial disputes that echoed those of the past. In the fallout of the group, things got really interesting, because although Howard Hewitt was heralded as the star within the trio and definitely had an incredible career following, Jody Watley, at least commercially, had the most success. Though Solar didn't value Jody's input, her solo success following her exit from the group says otherwise, with headlines such as Jody Watley being the next Janet Jackson, receiving a Best New Artist Grammy and a top 10 hit. When all is said and done, all three found success in their own respective areas, with Howard Hewitt having a strong career, Jody Watley finding commercial success, and Jeffrey Daniel finding success behind the scenes with his choreography and music of his own. This is a story of how no matter how much success you have, money and superstardom is the fall of many, many stars. Whether it's between the members of themselves or the ones that are basically reaping the benefits. I want to thank you today for joining us in our first iteration of Storytime with the Madness Radio. This won't be the last piece that we'll do on Solar Records, as there are many stories to get into from this legendary imprint. But for now, I hope you guys have an amazing day, week, what have you. And this is Blue signing off. Until next time, peace.
The Madness Radio.